That.
She told you yesterday.
No, it's something else.
It's a joke.
Last
Then
week,
they're gonna go
We're
each
talking about
direction.
taking
once
lemon
we get-
drops.
Oh,
Yes.
oh, yeah, I have bought my stuff, and I put that
Okay.
in mine.
Oh, no.
So,
As we touch into the darkness, that still quiet space at the end of the out breath, before life, before light. Can we feel its embrace? Can we sense that we are a part of this too? That in fact we are born from it? To know darkness, we must rest within it. Must treat it as a welcome stranger. And so we sit and are steadfast. What does that mean? We are still. We are clear seeing. We are awake to the darkness. And we do not look for the light in the darkness. We simply rest, abide, relax, find ease. And as we rest, we can then feel, can't we, the impulse towards aliveness, towards illumination, towards wakefulness, towards wholeheartedness. And then the strike of the match lights the candle of the in-breath. And we are awakened. We are present. We are whole. Loving, luminous presence is that which abides and embraces and opens and holds all things, including darkness. And in our wholeness, we are the vast sky. That is still and steady and constant, holding both day and night. The brilliant sky and the twilight. And we know each as an aspect of ourselves. We breathe and open in it all. Embraced by the darkness. We can feel the warmth, the presence, the wholeheartedness of being alive. We can love it all. For darkness to be known, there must be the light of awareness. That is you. And as we rest in that stillness, as we rest in the darkness, you could even use the back of your eyelids here as we're resting, embracing the darkness. You notice that even in darkness, there is movement, shades of grays and blacks. And this too becomes known. Like looking up at a dark night sky, and only by our own steadiness, by our own constancy, and by our own illumination do we begin to see the infinite twinkling stars. By our presence. By our goodwill, all is illuminated. And so we sit still become quiet. And rest in the darkness. And in the stillness, we become unshakable, imperturbable, unconditional. We receive and embrace all things and cling to nothing. And then we remember our own true nature. We are, in fact, that luminous, loving presence, like that bright and brilliant sky that holds all things, including the dark clouds. And in that vast sky-like quality, we are most boundless, most open-hearted, most wholehearted, and can in fact open and embrace all things, including our own proclivities, including our own habits, our own confusion. We do not mistake the cloud for the sky. And yet it is a part. And so we hold it too lovingly. We breathe into the tender heart with the in-breath, the heart of our shared humanness, our vulnerability, our tenderness, and our strength. And with the out-breath, we simply rest so that it can be known. Breathing in, I'm awake. I am the light I see. Breathing out, I am peaceful. I am at rest and ease. I am still and quiet. And as we rest in this wholeness, we make the offerings of these blessings. May we all be happy, truly happy. May we all be free from fear, from pain, from all forms of suffering. May we rejoice and be grateful for all of our blessings, all of our good fortune. And may we wish and offer that good fortune to all beings. And may we rest in the two arms of the light and the dark, the arms of wisdom, love, and compassion, and opening that embrace so that the whole world might fit in. We hold each other in the dark night. Remembering the light within. And may this practice this morning grow our steadfastness, our wholeheartedness, our luminous and loving presence, so that we may be the light in the darkness. So be it. Bowing to the light in each of us, to that goodness. So I wanted to do a little ceremony. There's a clicker somewhere. Here's the clicker. You want to light this candle. And so everybody should have a candle. Do you have one? Thank you. Renee, stay there, because you can grab that from Carrie and light that candle first, if you would. And then there's another candle. we're gonna light those, and then we're gonna light our own candles. Okay, and maybe a little fussy. You can just pass that one around. You can pass them both. Light the one that's there on the altar, Renee, behind you.
Here we have the everlasting one.
We have the everlasting light.
Oh, Belly's dead.
This one's lit.
Already lit. There you go. Yeah, no, just pass the light. Yeah, light yours and then hand that to somebody. Hang on, folks. We're lighting a candle. If you have a candle there, you might light it. If you don't, I had a little lit video, little candle video. I'll see if I can't locate that for you. If you were here, I can show it to you. This is what's going around. This is the candle holder. We're going to just light these and offer, make an offering. Between now and the new year, it's a really lovely idea to light a candle. I think as just a way of remembering. I've been gifted candles throughout the years, and I'm always like, what am I going to do with all these candles? Well, the good news is there's something to do with them. The last time I lit a candle on purpose, really with intent and some ritual, was actually, Carrie, do you remember when that was? We lit it together. Actually, that was also true. So I take it back. We did an elder goddess ceremony and we lit candles. The time that I was remembering before that was when Connie was going, trying to get into med school. And she was very anxious, and Connie is Carrie's daughter. And there was a lot of, I don't know what to do. And so we lit a candle and let that candle burn every day. I can't remember how long. I know it was at least 30 days that we kept that lit. And the good news is today, Connie is in her, what is it, 5th year? Final year.
Chief president. She's gonna go to
Major in the U.S. Army as a chief resident. So when we think that the light doesn't matter, right? When we think that the ritual is pointless, it is true on the one hand. A ritual by itself is not sufficient. So don't just light a candle and walk away and think that was good. That's going to work out for me. No, it isn't. No, it isn't. Don't buy into that. It isn't the candle. Is that in you that lit it? So what is that? You think about that for you. What is it in you that's lighting this candle? Intention. What else? Hope.
Love, compassion, and hopefulness.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. What else? What are you lighting? What are you bringing to this?
Energy and heat.
Energy, heat, awareness, aliveness, wonder, presence,
Sparkle.
particle. We are
Sparkle.
sparkle.
Contentment for all.
Contentment for all. The wish for ease. Peace for all. Right? So here we are with that light. That's what that represents. Every time you light it this week, call that prayer to mind. And it is not sufficient either. So, okay, just lighting the candle's not enough. Saying the prayer's not enough. What's enough? Give your whole heart to it. We become that, right? We become that. We say it to enliven it, to become it, to live it, right? To breathe it. There's not enough candle. There's not enough prayer if you don't become it. You then are the living, oh, here's the words, living light, living prayer, right? It's true in all traditions. All traditions, whether you're theistic and believe there's a thing, or you don't believe there's the thing, you know the thing is in you, it's all true, right? And so I will read this as an offering. Candles of light in the darkness, candles of grace in the suffering, candles of joy despite all sadness, candles of hope where despair keeps watch, candles of courage for fears ever present, candles of peace for warring tumultuous days, candles of forgiveness for all the difficulty, candles of love to embrace all that is life, candles that will burn forever more. Ever burning candle. We're not going to put those out. Offer your own intentions, blessings for these candles. These candles will stay lit. If you do not have a little candle, please feel free to take this. Remembering the candle that is within, that is illumined by your presence, by your commitment, by your intention, by your energy, by your wholeheartedness. May we realize that luminous presence within both ourselves and then all beings. So be it. I see some beautiful candles online there. Thank you so much. Just set those down, if you would. And so where do we get flubbed up? What happens? We know it's true, right? We remember. Look at the sky. Look at the sky. So what happens? Let's talk about habits, proclivities, the kleshas. We already named it. What do we call it? Fear. The contracted nature of fear. It will snuff it all out, won't it? That's its nature. Right? And so what gets in your way?
False beliefs.
False beliefs. Yeah.
Myself.
Say it again, Tanya.
Myself.
Well, a part of the self, I'm hesitant to call it the self, because then we would mistake, right, our sky-like quality for the cloud. There are clouds there. It is also true. And what, we have less clouds in the sky now. What was it?
It's just our, it's what we bring to it. Like, you know, I noticed in this occasion, there were times that I was very open, and I'm like, oh, that feels so good. And then I thought about something really closed right down in the middle of wanting to open.
Yes. Closing right down in the middle of wanting to open, Cindy says, by what? The harsh thought, the judgment, the fear, right? Because we can't get pissed without fear. There's no such thing. Fear is the mother of all aggression, as we know. And we get caught in it, don't we? It's like a flash fire. And it burns the house down. Doesn't it? Burns the house down. Yeah. Right? And then you said it, and you went, oh my God, I can't believe that came out of my mouth. Right? But at the moment, what? We're so trapped in that one narrowed belief thought, says the neuroscience, you are lost, and there is no light. You are lost. The brain stem in this moment has won, and now you're the monster you fear. Guess what we fear? Yeah, that. And rather than hold it, because it's so unbearable, it hurts, right? It squeezes, it tightens, it brings up the, right? What do? We throw it right onto that other guy, usually the one sleeping next to you. Usually the one sleeping next to you. We go, if only you would get it together, if only you would be right, rather than work on how do I stay steady? How do I stay whole? How do I stay open right there in the midst of my own contractedness? Why don't we? Because that's actually the solution, folks. That's why we sit still. It's not accidental. We're training to go even when it's itchy, even when the blade, even when we're yawning, even when Pete's, I'm just joking with Pete over there, right? What do? I recognize and stay steady. That's a certain stillness. And what happens there? That is the path. And why don't we is my question. Why don't we do it?
Future
Habit?
tripping?
What?
Future tripping?
Future tripping, that's one of the things that can close us. Yeah, that's the thoughts can be one of the easiest reasons to contract. But why don't we stay with the contraction? It's unpleasant. It hurts. I don't like it. I want it to go away because I've decided it's you and that I can escape or kill it or get somebody else or I don't know, something, right? And so we're running all over the place, aren't we? We're fighting, running, fleeing, fixing, going, if only I could get that worked out there, then I could be okay. How successful has that been for anyone? If anybody? No. Doesn't mean you don't do anything either. I'm not saying that. I'm saying you don't do it going, if I could only get you to be okay, then I could be okay. No, you better be okay first. And that means abiding. So Pema says the first courage, the first act of radical courage and compassion is restraint. Renunciation, that word we hate. What does it mean? Not running anywhere. The word I used today was steadfast. You stay. You stay with what? Me. Right? We stay. And not only do we then stay, what else do we do in the practice? We stay and then we breathe. And with the breath, we open just for one little moment, as Cindy said, and then, and that's okay. Then we know the darkness. There it is, right? But we don't abandon ourselves in it. What do? We stay again. We breathe again. We open again. And that restraint becomes by that very staying and then that very moving closer. What is that? That's love, isn't it? That's love. That very staying, number one, I don't run the other way. And then I keep breathing and I move a little closer every breath. You saw it too, Cindy, didn't you? I left and I came back and I left and I came back and I left and I came back and I came back and I left and I left. And every time I saw that I left, I was illuminated because you saw it, actually. You didn't just leave. You were there. You went, and then I left. And then I went into the story. And then I went into how that other. And then I went into if only them. And then but then I was immediately liberated. Illuminated. Let's use that word today. I was illuminated by the very running, by the very contractedness, by the very suffering, we could say. Right? It is not the suffering alone that collapses us. What is it? It's not the suffering. Life hurts. Things are hard. We don't have to lie. Aging, illness, death, and loss. It's real. We're not going anywhere. We're all going to be in it. So it's not that equals suffering. That's just the realities of this human life. Where's the suffering? Yeah, the getting collapsed by the fear, grabbing onto the fear, buying into the fear story. Guess what the story is? You're all telling it, so you should know it. Me, me, me. If only I could get out of this. If only. Then I wouldn't have to experience the real pains of this life. We could call that perpetual change. Couldn't we? Who likes it? Only when I'm directing it. I love it. I love it when I show up at the airport and my plane's there on time and I'm going to Kauai and then I get there and there's a tsunami. It's not that great. And then I go, see, life sucks. Right? So what do we have to be watchful? Why do we sit still? We sit still for the very reason that Cindy said. We're all sitting there illuminated, present, open-hearted also, friendly, kind with oneself, noticing the tender heart, noticing the ache, noticing the grip, noticing the storyline that even comes with it. Shouldn't be me, why me, how come it's me? And we stay. That's the instruction. And then we stay, except we know, and the neuroscience says so, we can't stay if we don't train for that. It's a big weight. It's a big muscle. And mostly the truth is we can't tolerate it. And so we run, fix, fight, freeze, do whatever our habit natures are. We all have our favorites. I happen to be a fabulous fixer. I have the #1 A job in the world. And so then when we say that, words like fierce steadiness, you know what it means, right? That I'm actually going to stay. And here's the second part of the trick, I think. You're going to actually do nothing. Because we're very good at staying and working out the system for how I'm going to make that better. But that's not the practice. The practice is, can I abide, get back to myself, hold on, get bigger, just breathe. And then out of that steadfastness, out of that stability, out of that restraint from the running, the fixing, or the fighting, I can see more clearly. I can see more clearly. And that's when that moving mind, those clouds passing in the sky, that's when we are transformed actually into the sky itself. We become bigger and boundless and wholehearted and can actually hold everything there, right? Can't we? We can. And we're training to do so. We do that every day for 60 breaths on purpose. It is not a waste of time. It's the #1 thing you could be doing. There is no pill as effective as being with yourself, with friendliness, with kindness, with care, seeing how you really are, and then staying with yourself, cultivating what we call in my industry psychological flexibility. I can be with me in all the weather. Right? Dark or cloudy. So when you see the dark night, when you see the mind in its collapse, when you feel the contractedness in the chest, when you get that nauseous belly, what can you do? looking, stay, breathe, pause, breathe, and really breathe it. You're not breathing anything away. That's why Larry and I, when we had that initial talk, I said, no, Larry, not escape, refuge. You're just getting bigger. You're not leaving. You're staying with you in that MRI because you need company there. We need company in our grief. We need company, don't we? We need a friend in our despair, in our confusion. And who could be there better, really, than you first? Be the light. Right? Be the light. And then what I notice is that without even expanding that to include others, the light itself grows. It just does, right? Your stability, your steadiness, your open-heartedness grows something, both in you and in others. And you don't have to try for that. That's not the work. You don't have to look a certain way. You don't have to wear a certain outfit at all. Right. And so can we practice? We light the candle to remember that which is within us. Right? Yeah. And then we invoke by prayer, by vow, and then by presence. We have to turn the words into virtue. And by the way, the neuroscience says if you cannot repeat that those words, the words of open-heartedness, the words of kindness, of friendliness, of compassion, of care, you cannot be it because you're going to forget and get busy. Aren't you? Yes, you are. You're going to forget and get busy and leave the very thing that you want to be behind. And so this is why we call it to mind every day, every single day. Say the words, picture an image, light a candle, whatever that is. But then we must repeat, says the science. We must repeat some words, whatever that prayer, vow, promise is for you. Can you see the truth of it? Yeah, you can. Do you practice it? No. No, we don't. Why don't we? We don't have a tradition that supports us. That's why. We don't have tradition that says, yes, you do. Every day, start that way, call it to mind, put it in your heart, breathe it in, embody it, then gesture it, bow to the ground, bow to the sky, bow to each other, embody it. That's the practice. Every single day. All right, let's think of one. Every single day, what am I going to say? Every single day. Intention setting, Lisa said. It says that which you place the mind upon makes the world. Really? So you don't want to wake up tomorrow going, oh shit, it's Sunday. Not the, you've made that the reality. And so what? The first three thoughts set the pattern, the path for the whole day. Where do you want to put it? You know, don't you? Yes, you do. Where? Love, compassion, kindness, connection, presence, be, find your words, write them down. For most of us, the words are easier than the phrases. Why? Well, just the evoking of the word can invite a felt sense. So when I say love and I rest in it for a minute, there's a felt sense for me. There's a warmth. There's an expanding, right? And I want to wake that up in me. Okay, so we could do that. So tomorrow, first thing you're going to do is think of 3 words that are qualities ways of being, ways of living that you want to commit yourself whole heart, mind, and body to for that day. Love is always one of mine.
I really like that you're saying the words because I can think of times where I set an intention and I sort of get lost in thinking about the intention. I start trying to find the perfect word for the intention, like completely
We do.
lose the embodiment.
Yes.
I really like the one word.
Word and embody. Feel how that feels. Patience. How does that feel? Well, as I just said that word, a kind of thing loosened right there. Like I'm not rushing anywhere. I'm not gripping, striving for anything. And it just went, right? So we say the word, we breathe it in, and we let the body enact it. What is that? And then says the science, gesture it. Gesture it. Now, isn't this amazing? This is all religious tradition throughout all time. That's what they did, didn't they? They did this, they did that, they did this, they did whatever they did. They gestured it. Embodied, and then you remember by the gesture. Well, guess what they then did? They practiced the gesture throughout the day. So then people are walking around going like this all day, right? Or this, or whatever they did as a way of reminding, remembering. But we don't do that. The very first thing we do, hand comes up, goes right for the phone, right back over here. And we put that intention called so much information, I can't possibly process it. First thing. And then we spend the whole day just like that. Going, okay, I'm a data source. I'm a data processor. And we're becoming more and more like that if we don't invite this greater capacity. But we have to practice and train in it. Don't just think it's supposed to happen. Whole traditions, cultures, right, are based on it. And we don't have it, but we can, right? And so we've named about 5 things. Name those things, pick the word, breathe it in, stay with it, feel how it feels in the body, remember it, and then find a way to gesture that. So what do I mean? I'll give you an example. So patience, right? Patience. My mom and Tanner are coming today. My mom's getting more confused. She will ask me from the moment she gets to the door the same set of questions, somewhat repetitively, because she's trying to be less anxious and anchor. And I'll go, I already said that. I already told you we're leaving at 12:30. No, I don't want to do that. That will not be of benefit. Not to her, not to me. Right? And so my gesture is, I'm just going to touch her. To remember, we're all going to forget. We're all going to get older if we're lucky. We're all, right? That's the truth. And so I already have that visualized. I'm not going to say a word. I'm just going to touch her to let her know that I'm here. And let me know that I'm here. And I can do that now, can't I? I can, because I already, there it is. I'm going to practice with that. Right? You get the idea? Does everybody get the idea out there? Since we're coming into the technical calendar of the new year, I'd like you to think about what ways you're going to be practicing this. How do we call the words of intention to mind? Qualities of being. How do we breathe them in? They say 3 to 5 breaths. How do we feel the effects? Get familiar with the body of patience, the body of kindness, the body of wisdom. What does it feel like? And then how will I express it? How will I live it this day? And then you're going to find, and this is my promise, you are going to find infinite other ways. to do so. But we're going to give you that one, right, to make sure. And then you're going to keep finding ways. There's no one way to patience, is it? You get this idea? And then it will be a very happy new year. Well, truly, a very happy new year. What will be the reason you won't do it? You believe me, I can see that you do. What will be the reason you don't do it? Too busy.
Caught it in there. So,
Self-making mind. Gotta. Something else.
forget.
We'll forget all about it. Yeah. Habit mind will win unless you not only intention, but then you set the course for it. So that would mean things like what? An alarm, a note, a reminder on that phone that you're going to look at first thing. What else? Practice. You keep doing it and it gets easier and easier and better, and then you're not forgetting. Right? But I wouldn't count on that for tomorrow. I would set up some supports if I were you, if you really want to remember. Maybe the candle. Take the candle, set it right there. First thing you wake up, put it on your phone. Yeah. Prepare. Set the conditions, conducive conditions. People know this. When I first started meditating, I had to put my cushion between me and the bathroom. Because once I got to that bathroom, I got to that sink. And once I got to that sink, I got to my phone. And once I got to my phone, it was over. It was over. So I had to trip over it, literally, every day. Right? We know this, don't we? And so we all want to be happy. We all want to be connected. We all want to have ease. We all want to be well. We all want to be a source of goodness, which we are, and we all want to share that. And yet, if we do not set the mind and then the heart and then the body to it, we cannot realize it. And then it just becomes a good idea.
I really love the way that you anticipated the seasoning up of what might, where you might go, and almost probably could feel that in the body,
Yes,
and I kind of went over, I haven't even thought about it,
that's right.
but I guess I started to think about it a little bit, and all of a sudden I kind of feel where all the pain points are going to be, and the idea that you can, as have a set an intention object.
Yes,
I just really love that.
to remember.
It already made me feel a little.
It'll go a little better.
Yeah.
It really will.
Yeah.
And I want everybody to see that there will be no way that that won't happen. It will go a little better. You will remember, maybe it'll be 3 breaths, but that's 3 breaths more. And we all start somewhere. Why not start with a breath? And then 3, and then 9, and then 50, and then, right? Because that only grows. That's its nature. Right? And then we are truly happy and present. And I don't mean that giddy, we understand that what happiness really means, right? Wholehearted. More and more. I'm going to read chat here and then we're going to say our dedication. Let's see what the crew's got to say here. Thank you all so much for being here when it's quite the busy time. But I can't think of anything better to be doing. Yes, we're holding Greg and continue to do so. Thank you for that. Anything else from Zoom before we do our dedication? So this is Joseph Campbell says this is the hero's journey. We begin the day by lighting the candle. And again, across all traditions in some way, by making the offering, by writing intention, speaking intention, reflecting on intention, inviting one's heart to it, and then embodying it across all cultures, across all traditions. And at the end of the day, before we blow out the light, we offer it again, don't we? We dedicate it, all the good, all the benefits, all the blessings. We offer that not only then to ourselves, but to all others so that they too can have ease and be happy. And so we'll do that now. So just getting comfortable. This is very short, but there's a point to it. Just feeling into the body, seeing if you can't release anything that's got a hook in you. And then find that breath. Settle back. And place the mind once again in the wave of the breath right there in the heart space. Breathing into the heart and out from it. This is sometimes called igniting the heart of bodhicitta, the awakened heart mind, the one that is all seeing, all knowing, all loving, the Godhead, the light. And we ignite it on purpose. We strike the match in our own heart. And then we let it radiate. We breathe into it, and as we breathe it out in all directions, forward and back, left and right, above and below. Radiant, golden or white light. Remembering that that comes directly from our own being. And we offer that light always first to ourselves. We illumine ourselves. We take it right from that heart space and we fill the whole mind body with that illumination. We breathe it in, we breathe out and spread it around. And we remember our own true basic goodness. We remember our own wish for ease, happiness, well-being, and joy. And then we gather all the merits, all the blessings, all the joy, all the goodness from ourselves, from this group today, from all who practice throughout all time, from all traditions. We gather it here. We breathe it in. We remember that it holds us. And then on the out breath, we send it out. We send it out to our loved ones who are in need, to those who are ill, to those who are in poverty, to those who have food or housing insecurity, to those who are in conflict, in war. to those who are in whatever insufficiency, who don't have water, medical care, food, or loving others. We breathe for ourselves and we breathe for others. We take the moments to do so. And then we dedicate all that goodness right here in this one breath to the end of suffering, the end of poverty, the end of illness, the end of conflict for the whole of the world. And you can't just wish it, you have to be it. And in this very moment of exchanging self for other, you are it. May we all be happy, safe, healthy, free. And may this practice this very day contribute. And may the light of awareness continue throughout this day and the next and the next. Remembering that there is no darkness without the light, and we are the lamp. So be it. I want to thank you all for being that light for us, for others, and may we all continue that. Please, for those who don't have a candle, take this one. Find a little spot to put it, light it every day during the end of this year into the new year. Remembering this is the practice. May we remember and then live that very prayer. Thank you all so much.
Can I
Wonderful.
interrupt for a second?
Yes.
Sorry, can I just ask everybody to put a little extra light out there? My mother's in ICU COVID isolation unit, and so I need a little bit of extra light sent out to her if possible from the Sangha.
Absolutely. Felicia, what's your mother's name?
Mona.
Mona. Okay, we are sending all healing, all ease, all peace to Mona.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And may we continue to be that. Thank you all so much. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, I guess Kwanzaa, there's everything going on. All about the light, by the way. All about the light. All about the light. There is no tradition that does not include that reality, that light. So please light it, be it, practice it, share it. And I'll look forward to seeing you on Tuesday for our regular practice. And in the meantime, everyone, please be blessed. Thank you. Be well, everyone.
We're with you, Felicia.
Thank you, Dennis. Bye-bye, everyone.
Hi, everybody. Have a beautiful weekend, and we'll see you Tuesday. Thank you guys all so much for practice.
Lots of
Thank
love.
you.
Lots of love.
Thank you.